Are you a TikTok refugee moving from TikTok to RedNote? If so, this video is for you. This is my ultimate guide to using RedNote as a former TikTok user. So firstly, hi, my name's Katie. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, all those wonderful things. I have been using Chinese social media for over 10 years now, including RedNote for the past 4 years, particularly to promote my own online education business. I lived, taught and studied in China before, and a lot of people think of me as a bit of a Chinese social media marketing expert for small education businesses. Now, I appreciate that's a little bit different to some of you who might be more like TikTok influencer types rather than business owners, but I hope to be able to give you a good insight into some of the features of the platform, monetization options, and a whole bunch of other things. So just to start off with, a quick introduction to RedNote. It's also known as XiaoHongShu or Red or Little Red Book, or sometimes that gets shortened to XHS for XiaoHongShu or LRB for Little Red Book. You might see various different acronyms floating around. They're all the same app. They've got this kind of pink logo and so on. Anyway, RedNote has over 300 million users, so it's quite a big app, particularly focusing on the Chinese market. I'd also point out there is quite a big international user base on XiaoHongShu already, particularly for like overseas Chinese families or people who are like international students, for example, and they want to share their overseas life and experiences with their family and friends home in China. And it's kind of similar to Instagram and Pinterest sort of mushed together, with some features you may recognize as well from TikTok. There is a big focus on sort of community building as well as real life recommendations. Like people often go there to search for specific things if they're going to visit a different city or something like that. And as you might have guessed, it is very much a Chinese company. It has quite a strong kind of China focus. That's a bit different to TikTok in the sense that TikTok was technically based outside of mainland China. XiaoHongShu is very much a mainland Chinese owned app. And so the policies and the regulations and things are a little bit different. More on that later on. Right, in terms of the features of XiaoHongShu then, do check out the playlist, which has got loads of more detail on these, including a full breakdown of how to use all the different functions and lots of top tips and suggestions. But essentially there are posts. They call these notes on XiaoHongShu, but notes could be videos, images, carousels, text posts, and you can also do what they call hey posts, which are a bit like Instagram stories. Another great feature of the app is the messaging system. You can privately message with people and you can have group chats. We have a whole video dedicated specifically to those in the playlist, so do check that out in the description, the links to that. Live streaming is also a really big focus on XiaoHongShu. And finally, there are also a lot of monetization options. That is a little complicated for international users, but we're going to have a dedicated video all about monetization and what you can do and what you can't do and some top tips and ideas there. Okay, as you've probably figured out, this is just the first video in a whole playlist. I did originally record this as like a whole hour-long thing and it was massive, and then my computer crashed and it all died. So I decided let's just break it into smaller chunks, which are a bit more manageable, and organize it into a playlist instead. So the playlist is going to cover what types of content you can post and some top tips and ideas there and some key differences with TikTok. We're going to look at how to improve your reach within the algorithm to get more followers and more engagement, particularly what you can do on your post to increase engagement more generally. Top tips for building community within the app, because that is a really big focus. We'll also talk a little bit about the language barrier and what you can do to make that a little bit easier between you and your followers. And of course, monetization options, because I know a lot of TikTokers are interested to know how they can make money by moving across to RedNote. And finally, we're going to end with a video about what not to do to make sure you don't get banned and you don't have any restrictions on your account, because there are some really, really important things to be aware of if you are new to RedNote. So don't skip that video. I also have, in the description, a link to my free XiaoHongShu bootcamp. Now, this video playlist is more aimed at TikTokers who are more like influencer types, but if you are a small business owner, particularly if you run an online education business, then the free XiaoHongShu bootcamp is going to be really useful and relevant to you. That has got lots of tips and suggestions into how to get started using XiaoHongShu RedNote as a business owner in terms of promoting your products and services, and how to set up and optimize your account, and really kind of how to adapt your strategy, which is going to be very different if you're a business owner compared to being an influencer. Okay, so links are all in the description. Do check those out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Let me know in the comments a bit more about what you post on TikTok and what you're hoping to do on RedNote. I'd love to help you guys out.